Hello there, namaste, and blessings. Thank you guys so much for being here. Welcome to my channel. My name is Nella Maat, and I am Wisdom of the Divine Feminine. Thank you guys so much for being here once again. I feel truly honored and grateful, okay? This that I do, this space that I have created, it really comes from my heart, and it is my wish, my heart desire, yeah, that you can truly feel how much I care and know, right, that my intentions are pure. What? Yes. So anyways, setting the intentions once more that we all allow ourselves to feel seen, loved, validated. Yes, remember that only you can give that to yourself. And so today I am not doing an energy reading, but I really want to talk about something that is so very important, something that I feel that can be very helpful for people to understand. And what I want to talk about here is fear, but there's a particular fear. Let me see what's going on with the lights here. What? This thing. Anyways, we're gonna keep it chill like that. Let me see. I'm trying to like get comfortable. So I want to talk about fear of confrontation, guys. Yes, fear of confrontation. I was channeling, and like I have some notes here, so hang with me as I am. I'm really wanting to for this to come clear and pure. Okay, you guys know English is my second language, and so bear with me here. So, fear of confrontation. I feel that it is very important for us to understand this and to really integrate what comes, like the level of healing when we really understand and integrate this part of us and have the higher understanding. Yes. So let's talk about fear. Well, fear, right? I would say fear, it is just like an intense emotion, yeah. Where there are beliefs attached to this emotion, right? And the main thing here, the thing about fear is unsafe. I feel unsafe, safety, right? Without safety, we cannot trust. And without trust and safety, I mean, how are we going to feel centered within who we are in our bodies, right? It's very important to understand this, right? I am going into the root, of what causes fear. Fear is just really about unsafety. And we have to recognize that most of us grew up in environments and surrounded by people who have been emotionally immature. And yes, there was lack of information, lack of guidance. We have also been programmed, right? We have become programmed to follow, to just act without pausing and thinking and asking ourselves the whys. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I believing this? Why do I follow these people? Why do, we have been programmed to just live our lives following and repeating information, and we have created all these beliefs and these ego identities, and of course right now we are undergoing this very powerful transformation, right? As a collective level, people are awakening little by little. Every human being is on their own journey, And there's so much more awareness in practices with mindfulness and us coming forward, right? Us, I'm referring to starseed light workers. Like, there's so much that the divine is channeling through many of us, that is such a beautiful gift right now. It's a gift to humanity because we are becoming very aware. We're gaining higher understanding of why we freaking as human beings live in so much suffering, right? Why have our ancestors also lived in so much suffering, right? So understanding that the main thing about fear is safety, right? And we have been programmed to believe the safety is outside ourselves. And safety is not outside ourselves. Safety is like a, what can I say, it's an energy. It's a home energy deep within you. Safety is it's an energy. It's like part of your blueprint of who you are. It cannot be explained. It can only be felt. If safety is, it really happens when you come back to your own truth, to know who you are as a core with all and everything. And safety also can only be experienced when we are in union with the divine. Okay? And so that needs to be the foundation. That's the foundation. Like, I feel three spirits are really working with me right now. Mother Gaia, the Shekinah, the Sophia, the wisdom of the divine feminine, the ocean, the land. Remember, guys, I'm a channeler, okay? And so we are currently working on our foundations. We are remembering who we are. And we are reconnecting with the things and with the truths that help us ground our own safety. That also creates that trust. Those need to be the foundations of a human being. Our connection with the divine that then opens up that connection to ourselves. And so then, and that is home. I see that as home. That's home. So it doesn't matter where you go or what challenges arises in your life. You know that you are at home. Then you feel safe, and you can trust in yourself, and you can trust in your decisions and your choices. Even when others or the world will not understand it. Okay, so fear of confrontation. Clearly, a child, right, who does not feel safe. A child that is afraid to speak his truth. A child that had been programmed to do things the most of the time are to please others and to gain praise only when the child does something that is expected. And consciously or unconsciously, we have been guilty of that, and we still are. And this is like a part of us that we must integrate, that we all have the ego. And when we are not in a healthy relationship with our ego, we as humans can become very manipulative. very controlling. We want to control people, what they do, how they think, how they see us, how they perceive us. Okay? This is very important. If us as children have experienced an environment where we felt unsafe, where we felt, where we're dismissive, right? People were dismissive toward us, where we were also hypercritical. Like there were people who were hypercritical. We were very criticized, and most of the time for the things we didn't do, and they will not see the things we did, or they will not reinforce how maybe hard we worked to do something, right? So when we did not have that level of connection and emotional support, we then, as children, have developed this fear of confrontation that then develops an ego identity where the child become a people pleaser. He wants to be seen as good, not as bad, right? The whole thing of good and bad playing out here. It's very important to see how it affects us. This ego identity is that I am the good person or I am the bad person. Nobody wants to be the bad person. Who wants to be the bad person? And a person that said, I am bad and this and that and I don't care, that's just pain talking. That's just their suffering. That's a child that is so hurt that they have created the identity to be the bad person, the black sheep, and place out of that, but it's just all pain and hurt. Nobody wants to be called or labeled as bad. Nobody is just good. Or nobody's just bad. You see how the bigger picture of this. We all do things that we feel proud of it, and we all do things that we don't feel proud of it. It's just cause and effect. It's just learning experiences. That we so-called mistakes. Are they mistakes? Or we were supposed to go through it and messed up and do some things. And then experience what is when your consciousness is saying, the part of you that's conscious that knows better, that said, hey, listen, that was not a good choice. That was not a good decision. Hey, and then you start to feel remorse and you're like, oh my God, did I hurt people? You start to hear your consciousness talk to you, right? Now we were given the consciousness in order for us to learn through experience and then integrate what is it that needs to be learned. Then we work on forgiveness. And we keep on living life. Now I learned from my lessons. I had done that before. I don't want to do it again. Then sometimes we just go back and do it again. Then it is what it is. It really is about being here and making peace with the fact that we came here to experience life as it comes. We do not have control over life, but we live our life trying to control life. We cannot control life. Life is happening, it's ing. Okay? So, the child playing out of now, right? A child that has been experiencing this feeling of unsafety have already created stories. Well, when I'm good and I do this, and when I do what others want, and I get praise and they like me and they invite me to parties and they want to be around me. But when I say something, now they get upset and they say, you make me angry. You ruin my day. How did you make them so upset? You just hurt your grandmother by saying that. How dare you? The child said, oh no, I'm not love. I'm not love. And maybe a child didn't mean to. It was innocent. Or maybe it was just a perspective. They were so different than what they can experience or perceive or see. And you are right away judge and label, and then you are the bad person. You are the black sheep. They start to label you with things, with names, and now you create this identity, and now you start to act out of it. Now there's two actions, right? The child said, I'm a bad person. Now I'm going to mess up everything. I'm going to start acting out of the bad, or I become a people pleaser. And now I'm building inside both of them. Then I'm just building suffering, anger, suppress frustration. They don't feel that they belong. They both want to belong, but now one of them says, well, I completely don't belong here. I don't get along with people, so I alienate myself, or I hang out and attract the people who feel exactly like me, or I play out people pleaser and I'm fake, and I develop the behavior even of fawning, right? Fawning, which is kissing people, ASS, and saying yes to everything and just feeling feeling themselves with anger, resentment. And at the end of the day, these two ego identities only create suffering. And behind that suffering, there's a child who wants to experience love, safety, trust, that wants to be free to express themselves, to have the freedom to make, I guess we say mistakes, but are they mistakes, right? But to mess things up and to then recognize, we have to allow ourselves, we have to give those the freedom, and also to our children, that we are going to do things and we have to learn from it, but we don't have to be labeled, we don't have to be punished, we don't have to be point finger, we don't have to be judged like that, right? All we need is guidance and love and higher and understanding, and people to explain to us and to help us understand that we are not here to live in guilt and shame and suffering, and that nobody is freaking perfect. Nobody, period. That doesn't exist. So fear of confrontation is all about a child that does not feel safe and is playing out of different ego identity that they have created in order to survive. What this child wants is to be liked, to be loved, to be understood. But they become what? Out of their pain and suffering, they develop these behaviors and this ego identity. Now they create a lot of assumptions because they are living in their past. You have not healed that. Now, you don't trust yourself. You don't trust others. If you cannot trust yourself, if you cannot really feel trust moving through you from your home, your heart, with your relationship with yourself, you cannot give that to others. So you feel unsafe. If you cannot fully express yourself, but we're talking about healthy communication, compassionate and clear communication. We're not talking about being defensive, because that's a shadow aspect of this fear of confrontation. Assumption, we believe we're reading people's minds. We're so afraid of negative outcomes because the child experienced negativity when he expresses himself when he was a child. Now he's experiencing and attracting the same things because he's having expectations that it's going to happen again. If I say something and they're going to abandon me, they're going to reject me, they're going to kick me out of the class, they're going to alienate me somewhere. Now I don't belong. Right? So fear of confrontation is necessary. And you have to make peace with this. You have to make peace with the understanding that confrontation is important, because only then when you can confront. Now, but we're talking about that we have to learn how to confront. We can confront from being defensive, where we don't listen, we punch you. Before you punch me, I punch you. Before you abandon me, I abandon you. Before you reject me, I reject you. Before you make me, right, blaming, feel low, and you go talk about me, I'm gonna go do it before you, and I'm gonna manipulate, I'm gonna go call people, and I'm gonna let them know so that make you look bad, because I am trying to I really care about what people think, and I don't want people to think bad about me, or that I am bad, or that I am the problem, because the child was also probably blamed a lot. You see how big this is? This is so big. This is so important, and I'm so fired up about bringing this into whoever is going to be open to listen to these messages. To this, it creates, when you really digest and peel and you do the healing process, the alchemy, it is only expansion of your consciousness and your awareness, and you can now start to really, when you start to heal this, you do your process, you can develop true, healthy, and beautiful relationships. But start with the self. First, we have to recognize. You we have to work with our inner child, with our inner teenager too. Okay? When we have fear of confrontation, we experience a lot of anxiety because we start making assumptions. Instead of calling the person, talking to the person front, we make assumptions and we believe the worst. They're thinking bad about me. They're gonna call somebody else. They're gonna put me down. They're gonna go around gossip and this and that. Now, you are just feeding yourself all the negativity because you are preparing yourself to be abandoned. You are preparing yourself to be seen as the bad person. You're preparing yourself to be seen as the problem because that's what you have experienced. So instead of coming from a place of vulnerability, because a person who has fear of confrontation has issues with vulnerability. They are afraid to really express their suffering. So they have fear of vulnerability, and these people most of the time will push people away. Then they will complain that they push people away, but they are creating it. Why? Because they have fear of confrontation. Now we have been programmed to go into confrontation. Like I said before, I'm gonna punch you back. We go to respond. We don't go to truly listen, have a compassionate conversation, higher understanding. No, I'm gonna go, you start to paint your face like if you're gonna go on the battle. You think you're more than me, baba. You start to create that shell to protect yourself, but in reality it's freaking all a facade because it's not real. You're hurting in the inside. You feel alone in the inside. You probably care so much about that person, but you are gonna start telling yourself blah, 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 because creates abandonment. And you have felt abandoned in your past, and if you still have abandonment issues and problems with rejection, right? Then here you are again. You are already preparing. So you are creating your own reality. Everything is always about us. Also, fear of confrontation. We care so much about what people think of us. Why do you care so much about what people think? And here it is where we develop healthy relationships, okay? Why is it positive to confront? Because then, instead of going around, creating assumptions, you can just have a confrontation, and then if we approach it in a healthy way, we can really peel the onion together. We can come into compassionate understanding. We use vulnerability. The person will understand where you come from. The other one too is 12 as I am saying this. And then there will be a choice. You can make a choice. And the other person too. At the end of the day, it's all about choice. Everyone's have a choice. And you can choose to start building foundations from respect, clear and compassionate communication, not on my way or the other way, but coming together and really give both of the people, the parties, like the lawyer said, or whatever, or everyone involved, because you give yourself the compassion, the understanding, the love, and the space to express yourself. You can give it to others. You cannot give to others what you cannot give to yourself. The way you treat yourself, you treat others. The same way you place unrealistic expectations on yourself, you place it in others. The same way that how harsh and how you talk to yourself when nobody's watching, it's the same way you talk about others. So if you guys see this is really a process of growing up and building true and healthy relationships. But I'm gonna leave it out here. I will be making more videos. Please like, subscribe, and share, and comment, and do all that. Let me know how this resonates. And if you feel like someone can, this information is useful, please share it. Yeah? I love you guys. Namaste and blessings. And by the way, happy Leo new moon. It's time to set those new intentions. All right, ask yourself the right questions and take accountability for the part that you have played on your own suffering. It's never about others, it's all about you. You are your own responsibility. All right? Peace and love. Namaste. And blessings.